Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. This is a book summary of The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing, by Marie Kondo. Do you feel as if the things you have now are taking over your home and your life? It's time to give the KonMari method a try, perhaps. Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up is a guide to Marie Kondo's formulaic process of cleaning and organizing. Clutter will be banished for good if we clean thoroughly just once, and our lives will be transformed as a result. Marie Kondo is a well-known author. In addition to being a well-known cleaning consultant, she's also become something of an internet sensation. As a result of Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, the practice of tidying has been transformed. Kondō transforms the act of tidying up from a mundane chore to a transformative event. The messy by nature excuse is a popular one among many of us. It is possible, however, to shift our perspective on tidying from a daily chore to a one-time event. Instead of decluttering one room at a time or room by room, Kondō offers a one-time decluttering solution. The best part is that it's a cinch to use. As a result, those who complete the KonMari method have maintained a clean house and made positive changes in other areas of their lives. Clutter-free living is guaranteed with the KonMari method for life. Even our surroundings will change. Kondō encourages us to imagine our ideal life, where we achieve outer order by creating inner clarity, and only keeping what sparks joy. Marie Kondo, on the other hand, is not someone to trifle with. Her approach is rigorous. In the KonMari method, there are only 2 rules to follow. After you've thrown away everything, you can then decide what to keep. If you've ever wondered how the KonMari method can bring magic back into your life, this summary is for you. The 2-part formula is broken down into distinct steps, each with its own set of guidelines. Finally, Kondō emphasizes that tidying is more about choosing and valuing the things we keep rather than discarding them. How can we tell whether something is worth keeping if we can't answer that question? And we shouldn't just apply this mantra to our material possessions, we should also apply it to the way we live our lives. A new era in household cleaning. It's no secret that Marie Kondo's method of tidying up has made her a household name. Kondō grew up reading home magazines, drawn to the neatness and aesthetics of the spaces she saw in them. Because of her early fascination with organizing and caring for her possessions and the environment, she developed a lifelong habit of doing so. This was no longer just a hobby, but a deep-seated obsession. She began formally studying tidying at the age of 15 and later worked for 5 years as an attendant maiden at a Shinto shrine while in college. In Shintoism, the act of cleaning and organizing one's surroundings is considered a spiritual act. Shintoism emphasizes the existence of the divine spirit and energy in all things, including inanimate objects. Inspired by Kondō's visit to the shrine, the KonMari method has evolved. This method is now taught all over the world by her. When it comes to helping those who struggle with organization or those who simply don't know where to begin, Marie Kondo is the go-to expert. With an air of reverence and formality, Kondō treats tidying as a sacred ritual. When it's time to clean up, she'll put on a nice dress and blouse. When she enters a house, she makes a point of saying hello to the residents there. She takes a seat on the floor in the middle of the living room and addresses the room in a low voice. After introducing herself, she asks for assistance in creating a better environment for her and her family. It's a 2-minute silent rite of passage. Respect for others and the art of tidying are evident in this gesture. We can begin our journey to a life of joy with the help of Kondō's simple and effective tools. However, you may be thinking to yourself, I clean up, but it's only a matter of time before everything gets back to being a mess. For Kondō, the root of this problem is our erroneous belief that we've done a thorough job of tidying when in reality we've only partially sorted and stored our belongings. As a subject that can be taught, tidying should be considered. It's difficult to learn how to properly clean because it isn't taught in schools. In subjects like home economics, we learn how to cook, but we spend very little time learning how to tidy up. The job that keeps the house livable, yet it's a self-taught job, says Kondō, and that's the problem. People who have been homemakers for more than 30 years, according to Kondō's extensive experience, are no better at tidying than those in their 20s. Clear evidence points to the failure of tried-and-true approaches to clutter control, with homes stuffed full of things they don't need and inefficient storage methods failing miserably. However, we needn't be deterred from our goals. Clutter does not have to control us. To begin, however, we must alter our approach to cleaning. In the end, Tidying must be done all at once and within a specific time frame. One of the most effective ways to deal with this is to organize a special event around cleaning. This way of thinking promotes the idea that cleaning only needs to be done once, rather than on a daily basis. In the beginning, it may appear to be a little out of the ordinary. However, if you do it correctly the first time, you won't be stuck in a never-ending cycle of tidying up. This is the theory. One of the drawbacks of doing things gradually is that we don't always notice the progress we're making. We may feel inspired at first, but that feeling usually does not last. A large part of the concept of success is based on seeing immediate results. Let's say we follow the KonMari method and dedicate a short period of time to decluttering. As a result, we'll be able to maintain our space in a more efficient manner. There are two types of cleaning: daily cleaning and cleaning for special occasions. Use something and then put it back where it belongs as part of daily tidying. For as long as we're here, this method of tidying will be the norm. The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up is a book devoted to organizing for special events. We can finally put our house in order with the help of this tidying. For more than just creating a pleasant atmosphere, tidying up is essential. When we tidy once and do it right, we experience a profound shift in our mental and behavioral patterns that lasts for a long time. A messy environment equals a messy mentality. A cluttered environment has an impact that extends beyond the obvious. In addition to being emotionally charged, cleaning is also a powerful tool for revealing what's bothering us in our lives. Self-reflection is aided by being surrounded by a neat and orderly environment. This self-reflection enables us to recognize and address our own issues and problems. When it comes to keeping your life in order, Marie Kondo says that the moment you start tidying, you will be compelled to reset your life, causing it to start shifting. When it comes to achieving our ideal lifestyle, tidying is just a means to an end. Cleaning and organizing our homes is a good place to start. You'll never have to deal with clutter again if you follow the KonMari method to the letter, and the good news is that these methods can be applied universally. Kondō's research has been thorough. Having done a lot of research, she came to the conclusion that there is absolutely no point in changing our approach to tidying based on our individual preferences. People who are unable to keep their homes clean fall into one of three categories. There are people who can't throw anything away, and then there are people who can't put anything back. Those in the third group make up the overwhelming majority, 90%. In other words, most of us are people who have a hard time putting things back where they belong. Because of this, there is no need to complicate and personalize this any more than necessary. As soon as we figure out where we belong, though, we can get to work on actually cleaning up our act. Tidying is a two-step process. Only two principles are necessary for a successful tidying process. Decide whether or not you want to keep the things you don't need and then get rid of the rest. As a reminder, this one-time method isn't a sprint, but rather a marathon. From start to finish, cleaning up can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. As a result, we must first find the will and the energy to begin the process. Having a clear goal in mind and a positive attitude can also be helpful. Who are your ideal neighbors? What kind of house do you want to live in? And what is your ideal way to spend your days? These fundamental questions must be answered. The scope of your tidiness objectives should be kept to a minimum. You can never be too specific when it comes to imagining how you want your space to look. If you're planning on moving into a new home, it's imperative that the space you'll be occupying looks and feels exactly the way that you want it to. It's much easier to make progress toward our long-term goals when we have a clear vision of our living space and can toss out the things that don't fit our expectations. Discarding can be difficult, but it's crucial to your success. Discarding things is difficult, there's no denying that, but it's a necessary first step. However, some things must be sold. For both psychological and practical reasons, discarding unwanted items is a good idea. Kondō was inspired by a book called The Art of Discarding, written by Nagisa Tatsumi. Getting rid of things is an important part of life, as this book explains. She went straight to her room after reading it as a child and began packing bags with things she no longer needed. When she finished her housework, she had 8 bags of trash to throw away. In addition, her room appeared larger and more welcoming. Even so, the air had a more pure scent to it. But most importantly, she had a new outlook on life and a clearer mind. When we get rid of something, we have the opportunity to reflect on the lessons we've learned from it. By releasing items we've never used before, we can gain insight into the things in our lives that no longer serve a purpose for us. Thinking about what we've got and what we're getting rid of will influence our daily lives and our decisions about what to buy in the future. Discarding items gives you a good idea of how much space you have to store the remaining items. Then, how do we decide which items to keep and which to discard? Determine what makes you thrive. Does this bring you joy? Is the most important question to ask when deciding what to keep and what to get rid of. Once you've made up your mind, you can let go of the rest with a grateful heart. Things can be easily discarded when they are no longer useful, such as when a part of a set is broken or something is beyond repair. When it comes to sentimental items, logic and intuition may be at odds. A key component of the KonMari method is paying attention to one's emotions when deciding what brings one joy and what does not. While tidying, focus on picking up one item at a time and asking yourself if it brings you joy. Observing how your body responds is the key here. Joy should be a deep and utter sensation of exhilaration. So, if an item brings you joy, you should keep it in your home. Let it go with gratitude if it doesn't work out. When deciding whether or not to keep or discard something, we should be aware of our own feelings of sentimentality, a desire to preserve the past, and a sense of nostalgia. If you're like most people, you have a number of unread novels on your bookshelf. Ask yourself if you could ever imagine yourself picking up that book. For those who haven't read a book, it's unlikely that they will ever finish it or even begin reading it, as it's been languishing on their bookshelves. Thank you for it, but let it go. Gifts and cards from friends and family can be particularly difficult to part with because of the sentimental value they hold. If you've already read their message, it's possible that you should let them go. To be honest, we should all live by the rule that we should only surround ourselves with things that we truly enjoy and value. Sorted into categories rather than by geographic location. Organizing each room one by one takes too much time and energy. It may seem counterintuitive, but sorting and tidiness should be done based on category, not location. Because we often store the same item in multiple locations, this strategy makes sense. Organizing and putting away clothing could be a good place to start. The first step would be to go through every room of the house and bring all of the clothes together in one place so that they can be thrown away. It's easier to figure out what makes you happy and what doesn't once you've gathered all of your clothes in one place. Gathering all of your belongings and putting them in a single location is essential to this process because it helps you determine how much storage space you will need. For the most time-saving approach, follow these steps. Take care of your clothes first, and then move on to your books and documents. Finally, you can go through sentimental items and heirlooms to complete the process of decluttering your home. This technique progresses from the easiest to the most difficult things to let go of. The idea is that by the time we get to the sentimental items, we'll have honed our judgment skills. Remember to only deal with one category at a time. Your enthusiasm for tidying will grow as you progress through the various categories. Even though you'll be working up a sweat, getting rid of all the junk in your home will be incredibly liberating. How to organize your home. There are a lot of useful tidbits in here for people who want to keep their lives simple and orderly. Getting rid of clutter has a reverberation effect. It's no secret that Marie Kondo is a master of space-saving and time-saving organizational techniques. For example, we'll learn about the benefits of vertical storage, which not only frees up floor space but also looks better. Among the many things we learn are specific folding techniques that keep clothing items vertically upright in the cupboard. This also aids in the prevention of creases. Another way to save space is to stack bags on top of each other. Unpacking our suitcases as soon as we get home is a good habit that we should all get into. Additionally, we must remove the tags from all newly purchased items before putting them away. The key to this process is developing good habits around tidying and organizing our living environment, which ensures happiness and a sense of vigor. To sum it up, Kondō infuses the mundane act of cleaning with a sense of joy. In addition, she restores a sense of well-being to areas that had previously been devoid of it. Cleaning and tidying is a skill that can be mastered once and for all thanks to the Mary Poppins of cleaning and tidying, Kondō. To think of cleaning as a one-time event may seem absurd and unfathomable to some. However, the KonMari method's magic and secret give everyone the tools they need to only clean and declutter once. This book walks us through the process of deciding what to keep and what to toss. All the while, we express our gratitude. The best part is that we won't have to spend as much time cleaning up as we used to, which means more time and energy for the things that matter most to us. In the words of Marie Kondo, when we put our home in order, that's when our real life begins. Does this bring me joy? Might be a good question to ask yourself. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook.